Here we go. Tap those likes, hit those subscribes. Guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and we're back for another live stream today, August 13th here, and the market is once again in the green. Aerodrome is up 17.6% today. Radium up 13%. We've got Arbitrum up 16.7% here. Fartcoin 13.8%. Let's start smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. ETH is up 5.3% today, 28.6% on the week. Are we about to see an all-time high for Ethereum? Getting closer and closer this week. I think we're going to see it before the end of the week for sure here with the rate that Ethereum is moving. What else we got? We got OKB up 123%. Don't know what the heck this is or where this came from, but okay. Let's get that out of the way here. And overall, everything else is pretty much just falling behind. Let's see. Let's go jump over to the Ethereum chart. Ethereum here has been slowly just chopping sideways today. Not a lot of major price action on Ethereum overall. It's been a slow grind since the Asia trading session, coming down to as low as 45.69 and been a slow grind to the upside here. Like I said, our next target for Ethereum to the upside is this all-time high of 48.78 for Ethereum. And like I said, we're at 47.27 right now. This is only a matter of time before the end of this week that we hit this 48.78. Something terrible has to happen. Bitcoin has to have a major type of collapse, pullback, dropping below 120, potentially dropping towards that 117 area to maybe have Ethereum pull back along with it and avoid hitting that new all-time high this week. Bitcoin dominance has also been just massively melting, guys. Bitcoin dominance here is currently, let's zoom out here to the daily. Bitcoin dominance today came down as low as 59.25%. Currently sitting at 59.53. Been spending the majority of the time there, above the previous day low of 59.49 from yesterday. But our targets to the downside for Bitcoin dominance remains the same. 59.10 to 58.45% are the targets to the downside for the Bitcoin dominance. And as we get to see that Bitcoin dominance continuing to melt here, we're going to continue seeing Ethereum slowly crawl and maybe potentially skyrocket to some new all-time highs. So let's start smashing up those likes, hitting that subscribe if you haven't already. And let's start looking into the chat here for some questions. I'm going to be looking around, seeing if anybody's got any questions about the market and any specific altcoins of their choice, because there is a lot happening here right now in this market. And I hope you guys have been positioning yourself. I hope you guys have been paying attention. Hope you guys have been taking down the moments where are very, very slow, the moments where not a lot of price actions happening, some potential negative pullbacks are happening, especially towards the end of July, beginning of August. We had that little bit of a pullback in the market. Everybody got real scared. And guess what, guys? Now we're blasting off. If you're listening to people that are saying that altcoin season is not here, I don't know who you're listening to, because we have sent it. We have completely sent it here in the last week or so. A lot of altcoins are starting to move up. Yes, obviously not all altcoins are at all-time highs. There's still a long way to those all-time highs for some of them, but they all move in different waves. But nonetheless, the fact that Bitcoin's dominance has collapsed all the way down to below 60%, from where it was up over 65, 66% a few weeks ago, that is a major, major indicator that Bitcoin is giving up some room here for the altcoins to run. And if you don't think an altcoin season is happening, while Bitcoin is literally at all-time highs, well, practically at all-time highs, and Ethereum is popping off, everything's popping off right now, you are clearly mistaken, because this is a major move to the upside here. Major. Let me see here. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. Make sure you guys are all dropping questions. Shizuku, good to see you. Good to see you in here. Good to see everybody in here. Let's see, to make sure I'm catching up on all the chats. What is your estimate of how long the run will last? Well, that's a great question. How long is the run going to last? Well, we are expecting, thank you for the gifts. Thank you. We are expecting interest rate cuts to come in September, right? Around September. September is usually kind of a bearish month for crypto overall. So we could see a little bit of a pullback at some point in time in September. But if we get those interest rate cuts happening in September, we are potentially adding fuel to the fire here for a potential very aggressive move to the upside in quarter four. Quarter four for crypto is usually a very bullish month for crypto overall. If we come over here to CoinGlass, let's go take a look at the data. Where is this? Is not what I wanted. Give me a second here while I find the correct CoinGlass. Come on. Here we go. Data, give me the monthly returns here. The Bitcoin returns, boom, perfect. Now let's get quarterly returns. As you guys can see here, Bitcoin's quarterly returns, the grand majority are green in quarter four. With the only times have been red, 2022, confirmed bear market. The entire year was red. 2019, also a bear market. 2018, also a bear market. 2014, also a bear market. Bitcoin is in a bull market right now. We had a 47% move in quarter four of last year. We had a 56% move in 2023. So unless we're entering a bear market here, which definitely does not feel like we are entering a bear market with how aggressive Bitcoin's been moving. Bitcoin moved up 13%, over 13% in quarter three, and moved up over 29% in quarter two. And Ethereum is up 89% in quarter three and up 36% in quarter two. Definitely doesn't smell or look like any type of bear market that I've been in and I've been around since 2017 in crypto. So I do believe that this rally, even though there could be some levels of pullbacks, some moments of stagnant price action, so like I said earlier, potential pullbacks in some weeks, in some days, overall, I think the move is going to continue going higher, and we're going to be going higher in through quarter four of 2025 into potentially 2026. So I do believe we're going to be starting to run here, and we're going to see $150,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. 150K by the end of the year. Ethereum right now, right? Ethereum, as soon as we start breaking out above this all-time high, our next big targets here for Ethereum, let me close this out here a little bit. Our next big targets, right? Very simple, guys. Next big targets above the all-time high are 59.20 to 64.83 with a macro gold pocket all the way up at 74.19 for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, once we start breaking out of the all-time highs of 48.78. So yeah, very, very aggressive moves are potentially coming here, and I do believe the moves are going to last all the way through. Zayton says, bro, you are awesome. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Thank you so much. Keep dropping the questions. Let me see. Let me go through here. Hello from the Bay Area. Good to see you. Blast off 100%, man. Good Life says buy. Well, I'm technically not buying right now. I don't buy green. I don't buy these massive moves to the upsides. I like to buy in dollar cost average on the lows. I was buying heavy amounts back in March of this year when things were down. Altcoins were down 80+% in March. It looked like the beginning of the bear market. It was catastrophic. It was an apocalyptic state for the altcoin market in March at the end of quarter one. And let me tell you, bro, that is a massive, massive signal to be looking to buy some areas, right? Looking to buy, because that is the time you want to be buying. You don't want to be buying when things are in the green. You don't want to be buying when things are in the FOMO, right? When everybody's FOMOing at buying, that's not when you want to buy. You want to buy when things are completely decimated, when altcoins are completely in the negative and nobody everywhere around you even wants to talk about a crypto altcoin. So yeah, 100%, that is the time to be buying. Grace, thank you for hitting that follow button. Greatly appreciated, brother. Let's see here. See if we got any other questions. XRP going up or down? Let's go take a look at XRP here. XRP. XRP's had a lot of chop here today. XRP had a big move to the upside of the Monday high of $3.33, right? Up all the way up here where we swept this area, which was a reversal signal. Bitcoin also started to have a big drop at that point in time, and we came down, lost the previous day high, and we just lost all support. Came all the way down to our daily average right here at $3.22. Found some support there. Bitcoin started to cool off, started to stop pulling back, and since then started to bounce all the way back up, got back above the daily open of $3.26, but it's just kind of been hovering around here. Not a lot of volume in XRP or in altcoins overall, as Bitcoin's dominance started to climb back up earlier today, and it's kind of just been kind of flat price action for a lot of it. Now, if XRP does continue to crawl back up, right, targets to the upside, we have the previous week high of $3.38. Above that, that is a target for this week here. If we're going to continue moving to the upside, then our next big target is our current local high, right, of the recent price action when the lawsuit was over. XRP blasted off and made a high at $3.66. Once we get above $3.66, our next big target to the upside is about $4.16. Oh, I don't have it on this chart. I have it on a different chart. It's about $4.16 above 366. So, yeah, those are the targets right here, right now. Oops. Can you take a look at Chainlink? Yeah, dude, I can take a look at Chainlink. Let's go take a look at that. Chainlink here. Boom, boom, boom. Link has had a nice little move here in the last couple of days, let me tell you. Let me zoom out to the daily. Let me turn off these trading indicators. Give me a second here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so Chainlink overall blasted off, right? Blasted off above the previous month value area high of $19, basically $20. We broke the resistance. We came up to the gold pocket that we've been targeting for quite some time of $23.65, and we came all the way up to the value, almost the upper band of this uptrend, right? We reclaimed the uptrend that Chainlink was in during the month of July. We had fallen out of it as the month of July ended, and then throughout August, we were able to now reclaim it back on August 9th, reclaiming this uptrend. If we remain in this uptrend or break above this uptrend, our next big targets to the upside are between $27 to $29 to potentially $34 to, starting to run to $47. We have a monthly MPOC up there, and we have the all-time high around $53. So yeah, that was a fantastic recapture of Chainlink to get back above $23. Now, we need to hold this uptrend. If Chainlink begins to drop back down, a retest of $20 is possible. This retest must hold. If it loses $20 again, could be dropping all the way back down to $16 or lower. Now, I'm not expecting those type of pullbacks to happen for an altcoin when the Bitcoin dominance is dropping so aggressively. So keep that in mind. Let's go keep looking through the chat here, see what other messages we got. Good to see you, Birkin. Can I buy XRP today? Yeah, you can buy XRP whenever you want, right? You can literally buy it whenever you want. It's always available to buy. Now, am I personally looking to buy XRP? Personally, I don't hold any XRP. I don't like XRP. I think XRP is a bunch of fugazi, but I wouldn't personally be buying XRP at $3.27. Like, realistically, where is XRP going to be headed in the rest of this year? By the end of this year, where do we see XRP at? $6 maybe? Let's say $8 being generous. A lot of people out there throw the number 10, right? $10. That's a little bit over a 2 to 3x at max for XRP. There's a lot of altcoins that are going to potentially do a lot more than that. If we're talking about spot, right? We're not talking about trading. We're not talking about low leverage trades or anything like that. We're talking about buying spot. I personally wouldn't be buying XRP at this price point just because I don't really see it going past $10 by the end of this year. I know a lot of people think about $100, $1,000. I think that's all a bunch of fugazi. That's just me personally. You do whatever you want. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. What's your opinion on AVAX? I got 5,900. 5,900. Is those 5,900 tokens or just $5,900 in AVAX? Doesn't really matter, but we'll take a look at AVAX here AVAX, where's the AVAX chart? AVAX is, give me a second here, let me pull it up. So AVAX, let me jump out to the daily, turn off these indicators here, and boom. So AVAX has, like a lot of altcoins, were dumping at the end of July going into the beginning of August, and then we've been slowly rotating back to the upside. We have finally hit the monthly naked point of control for July of $25.03. We're currently at $25.22. There is big resistance here at $26. We got rejected back in May, and we got rejected again in late July at 26.36. We need to break above that area to start running for our target here of 29.91. Once we get above 29, we're going to get back above that $30 region. There's a lot of price action above $30 that is very critical, and especially price targets as well. We have targets above to 36 to about $41 with a gold pocket. And we have the biggest monthly MPOC back from December up at 51.94. If AVAX can break above 51.94 and hold dailies above $51, $52, let's call it, it is going to be astronomical, because we do have legacy targets from back in 2021 that we have not revisited. We have targets between 71 all the way up to the all-time high of $147 for AVAX. So AVAX could potentially get very, very high in price action if we can break above that $52 price point and start closing some dailies above that. But in the short term, local targets, realistic targets right now are $36 to $41, with 51 being on deck as our final target before some big astronomical moves for AVAX. Let's see here. Hypothetical question. Somebody offers you 10K in HBAR, Arbitrum, or Aerodrome today to be sold at the end of the bull run. What would Crusader choose? If I had to choose $10,000 worth of only one of those three altcoins, I would choose between HBAR, Arbitrum, or Aerodrome. I personally, this is not financial advice, I would personally choose Aerodrome. Here's why. Aerodrome is the newer out of those three. It is connected to Coinbase, right? Coinbase's network base. Aerodrome runs the DeFi. It is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, DeFi player on the Base network, which is the network connected to Coinbase. We've gotten all the most pro-crypto regulations ever. We know Coinbase is only going to continue to get bigger and bigger, and more things are going to be coming on-chain for Base. And as Ethereum continues to rally and break all-time highs, Base is a layer 2 network for Ethereum. So activity is going to come onto Aerodrome, onto Base, which is going to affect Aerodrome. And Aerodrome, being the newest crypto out of those three, is going to have the most hype to really have a major pump. We already seen Aerodrome go all the way up to over $2. HBAR, if we go take a look at HBAR's price action, HBAR in its recent price history here, right, back in November of 2024, went from 4 cents to about 39 cents. Its all-time high was 57 cents. So it's gotten nowhere near its previous all-time high, even with the major rally back in November, January time. Now we're back close to these, making a lower high here around 27 cents. Yes, we can break up 39 cents, maybe potentially run for 57. But overall, not a big area of interest for me to be getting HBAR at this point in time. Now, Arbitrum, right, is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum, could be major play here, right? But Arbitrum competes with a lot of other layer 2s. We've got Polygon, we've got Optimism, we've got Base, there's other networks, other layer 2s that are competing with Arbitrum, right? And at the same time, layer 2s for Ethereum just haven't really been a thing in this cycle, right? This cycle, this time around, is not going to be a thing. Now, does that mean that layer 2s aren't going to pump? Absolutely not. Layer 2s are going to pump. Arbitrum is in a slight uptrend from the beginning of quarter two. We are breaking out of this uptrend and going into a steeper uptrend right now for Arbitrum, right? We do have targets between 73 cents to 89 cents as a gold pocket for Arbitrum before running for some, potential local highs of $1.23. We've got some quarter one, some 2024 targets between $1.67 to $1.88. But overall, I really do think that Aerodrome has the bigger chance to outperform. And so far, if we go take a look at HBAR, up 11.3% on the month, not really moving a lot. If we go take a look at Arbitrum, 36.2% on the month, down 6.7% on the year. If we go take a look at Aerodrome, Aerodrome is up 70% on the month, up 106% on the year, up 83% this week alone, up 17% just today. Now, yes, this has pumped a lot more than the others. So you're like, whoa, maybe I'll just take some HBAR. It hasn't pumped as hard. But realistically, what has the more fuel to keep the pump going? It would be Aerodrome. In this hypothetical question of if I had to choose only one, I would choose Aerodrome over the other two. So I hope that answered your question. Did I miss XRP and XLM? I did cover XRP already. I haven't covered XLM yet. We can take a look at XLM here in just a second. XLM. Good to see everybody smashing those likes. Okay, so XLM here, very simple, right? Kind of a lot of altcoins that did the same thing. They dumped at the end of July, started pumping at the beginning of August, are back within their July range. We are facing resistance between 48 to 51 cents for XLM, very similar to HBAR. November highs are around 63 cents if we can break above 51. And then we got the all-time high for 79 cents if we are going to run for it by the end of this year or not, or the end of this cycle overall. Now, if XLM loses support around 42 cents, our targets to the downside would be, first target here would be a value area high of 38 cents. Then we got 34 to about 28 cents as a target to the downside. Now, like I said before, caveat here is I don't expect this type of pullback for any of the altcoins unless we start to really see major drops in Bitcoin and a major rise in Bitcoin dominance. So that is what I'm looking for here when it comes to XLM. Ethereum, slowly but surely making its way towards that all-time high. We're currently at 47.44. All-time high is at 48.78. If we don't hit it by the end of today, we will most likely hit it by tomorrow at this point in time, unless we have some type of major pullback. What about ONDO? Let's go take a look at ONDO. ONDO. So ONDO here, overall, very likely it's starting to try to make a run for the value area high of July, trying to break above that, which is $1.09. We're currently still sitting at $1.06 and some change, right? Once we can get above $1.09, our main targets to run for are between $1.20 to $1.22. If we can flip $1.22, we have targets at $1.32. Then the targets above that are between 151 to 161, with our final target before running for all-time highs is being 171 for ONDO. Now, if ONDO continues to struggle here at 106 and starts to fall back down, look for support between 96 to 93 cents. If that doesn't hold, then we're looking at 90 to about 81 cents to the downside. And like I keep saying before, don't expect any altcoin to have any type of major pullback unless Bitcoin drops massively and Bitcoin dominance continues to push, and Bitcoin dominance starts to push up aggressively. That is the only time I would expect altcoins to start really dropping that hard. Do you think Link will pull back with ETH when ETH hits all-time high? If ETH hits an all-time high and starts to pull back, which is a very good probability, right? There's not going to be up and to the right only. At some point, we will have pullbacks. There's a very good chance that if we sweep the all-time highs and we get rejected at the all-time highs, making a new all-time high, a slight new all-time high by a wick, and then closing the daily or whatever it is below the current all-time high of 48.78, there could be a very good chance that we have a pullback at that point, signaling a reversal. And yes, if Ethereum has a significant pullback, that could lead to some altcoins having a pullback, maybe some bigger concentration coming into Bitcoin. So a lot of different market conditions to be looking at. Really depends what Bitcoin's doing, what is Bitcoin dominance doing. And if Ethereum is pulling back drastically, I would be expecting that it would be a majority of altcoins are going to be pulling back as well. I don't expect to see Ethereum crashing while every single other altcoin just blasts off. So I would be very surprised to see anything like that. It just wouldn't make any sense to me. Let's continue going here through the chat. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. Let's see here. What do you call massively on Bitcoin? How much? What are you referring to when I'm talking about a massive push for Bitcoin dominance? Is like pushing up 1 or 2%, right? That is very aggressive. And dropping, if I'm talking about Bitcoin price action, Bitcoin right now is sitting at $122,000, right? It's not, so sitting at 122,000, headed towards its previous all-time high right now. Whoa, look at this. Look at this, my friends. Bitcoin's at 122,500. All-time high is at 123,259. We could be running for an all-time high here, a new all-time high, Raul, live on the show. This is massive. But what I would say a massive drop for Bitcoin would be, obviously, it's not talking about a 40% crash or anything, but from the day-to-day, if Bitcoin were to drop right now from 122 down to 117, that is an aggressive drop in a very short period of time. Even if it takes more than 1 day, maybe it takes 1 or 2 days or even a full week to drop from 122 to 117, right, or lower, that is a significant drop for Bitcoin, which would affect the altcoins dropping as well. So it's not like, oh, bull market is over, but it is a pullback, and it is something to be aware of, and it is significant for sure. Like I said, I do believe we're in full bull market. I don't think we're going to be having any crashes, right? As of yet, there's no signals. There's no reason to believe we're going to be crashing, but we will be having pullbacks at some point or another. And these pullbacks could be a couple of $1,000, $5,000, $6,000 for Bitcoin, which translates to, a significant amount of a couple of percents for altcoins as well. Where would you long VeChain? Man, VeChain is still pretty much at the lows, right? VeChain really hasn't moved. So unfortunately for VeChain, but fortunately for you, you could potentially still long VeChain. You just would need a very low leverage, right? Maybe like a 3 to 5x leverage. Maybe as high as 8 at most. Obviously not financial advice. It's just me thinking off the top of my head. But you would have to dollar cost average into this, right? We're still making lower highs since the beginning of Q2. We had a breakout all the way to almost 3.5 cents. Then we fell back down by the ending of June, all the way down below 2 cents. We came back up at throughout July to basically almost 3 cents. We dropped back down to 2 cents at the beginning of August, and now we're back at 0.026, right above 2.5 cents. So we need to break out of here. We need to get above 0.032 and really start closing some dailies above there. They are targets between 4.5 to as high as almost 6 cents for a gold pocket here for some local short-term targets. And obviously we have legacy targets between 7 to as high as like 13, 18 cents. But for a low leverage long, you would have to be willing to dollar cost average into that trade to see how long it would take for VeChain to break out of this downtrend. But still very possible, still hasn't had any major significant move at all. A month or end of year or no exit plan? Wait a minute. What is your exit plan on the main coins or some coins? It really depends what price points we get to, right? Or once Bitcoin is above $150,000, it really depends where Ethereum is around that point in time. If Ethereum is anywhere between 6 to 8K by the end of this year, I will be taking profits around that time. I'm not going to be selling all my Ethereum at 6,000, but I will be taking some profits at 6K. I'll take some more profits at 8K, and then I'll leave a moon bag to ride if it goes up higher, and I'll leave the rest just to hold on to it. If it drops again, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm a long-term holder of ETH. Now with all the other altcoins, I have certain price targets where I do plan if those price targets are met. Like Aerodrome's a perfect one. If Aerodrome hits $1.68 or $1.61, whatever it is, that gold pocket, I'm going to be taking a big chunk of profits on Aerodrome. Yes, Aerodrome can go back towards its all-time high, potentially run a lot higher, but I've been buying Aerodrome since it's like at 20, 30 cents. I've been buying Aerodrome for a ridiculous amount of time at ridiculously low levels. So yes, I will be taking aggressive profits at that point in time. It all depends on price targets and where they are, and dollar cost averaging your way out. I'm not going to sell my entire bag at a certain price point. I'm going to dollar cost average my bag on the way up out at certain targets that I've already made in my head, right? And whether that happens by the end of the year, or that happens in the next 2 weeks, or that happens in 2026, that is my game plan. And then always creating moon bags for some altcoins. Other altcoins, I'm going to be selling. I will, by the end of the entire bull cycle, I will be 100% out of all altcoins, except for Ethereum. Ethereum and Bitcoin are the only coins that I do plan on holding. I don't plan on holding anything else. I don't care how bullish Aerodrome is. I don't care how bullish AVAX is. I don't care how bullish Chainlink is. I will be selling all my altcoins at some point, and it just will be sitting in stablecoin, and the rest of my portfolio would just be Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I'll just wait for the next big crash, the next big opportunity, and start dollar cost averaging into new positions, into some new coins that, look promising. Guys, if you guys haven't already joined the Crypto Citadel, I definitely urge you guys to join. That's my private trading community. You get daily trade signals. You get we're doing live streams in there almost every single day now. Daily live trading sessions. We have a trading course that I just put out on the last weekend. It's an hour long to catch up to all my trading strategies, how they work, how to use all the indicators that I use, which are free. There's only one exclusive indicator, which I created myself, which you get access to as well by being part of the Crypto Citadel. So if you guys want to do that, definitely do so and join the Crypto Citadel. If you want to start learning how to trade, start educating yourself, that's the place to be at. So I'll hope to see all of you guys in there. Solana. Let's go take a look at Solana. Solana, make way. So Solana here, very simple. Still in this nice little uptrend since the beginning of the quarter two time frame, right? We came down to about 174 during August 11th. We found support. We're bouncing back up. We're currently at $200. If we can break above the July value area high, which is at $205, our next target to the upside is this gold pocket at 225. Then we have a target at 235. Above that, we have a target at 247. And then above 247, we're running for the all-time high of 295 for Solana. But overall, Solana is in a nice little uptrend. Even if we get rejected here on the 205, a pullback between 184 to 174 is still very bullish. Even if we pull back down to 166, we're still in the uptrend overall for Solana to keep pushing to the upside. Let's take a look here. Ethereum pulling back again. Bitcoin kind of easing off from its push towards the all-time high. Which country are you in, bro? I'm in the USA, bro. I'm in the US of A. You mentioned that from this point onward, there are plenty of coins that will outperform XRP. What are your favorite three that may perform the best? There's 5 of them that I'm tracking that are on the Ethereum network. There's a lot of other coins that are going to do well. There's a lot of coins, guys. BitTensorTau is going to do significantly well. BitTensorTau has targets between $600 to $700. We're currently sitting right below 400. Ethereum, right, is going to do fantastic. We have targets all the way to $8,000 and higher. But AVAX, lots of targets to the upside. But if I had to pick 5, right, Pendle, Lido, Aave, Maker, and Uniswap are 5 Ethereum network coins that as Ethereum pumps, will have significant benefits of pumping with Ethereum, because 4 of those are DeFi plays all on ETH. And we know that as ETH whales make more and more and more money, right, as their positions get larger, and we know that a bunch of people are buying Ethereum, they are not going to just sell their Ethereum. They're going to arbitrage, right? They're going to borrow. They're going to use DeFi. They're going to borrow against their Ethereum positions, get more stable coins, potentially either buy more ETH or buy some other altcoins, whether it's in the Ethereum network or not, and just rinse and repeat that with their Ethereum back. So that is why I believe Ethereum DeFi is going to benefit very greatly. And all that trading volume that as Ethereum is pumping in price is going to be happening on Uniswap. Uniswap is one of the biggest dexes in the entire crypto space. It runs with almost every single network already. Obviously, there's some networks that doesn't, but it almost has every single network available. And it has a grand majority of market share as one of the biggest dexes, if not the biggest dex in the space. So Uniswap is definitely going to increase. And look at this. Uniswap, just from Ethereum breaking out, right, from Ethereum pumping, went from $10. Oh, well, this is on the 15-minute. Hold up. Let me jump out here to the daily. Just here at the beginning of August, we were down at $8. We're over $12 now. At the beginning of June, right, when June 22nd, when Bitcoin bottomed out at 98,000, Uniswap was all the way down at $5.98, round up to $6. It's literally doubled itself since the beginning of July to now of August. And a little bit over 30 days, it's more than doubled already. And we still have targets all the way up to 1425 and potentially a lot higher, right, for Uniswap. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Bitcoin here on the 15-minute looks like it's sweeping the Monday high, which could be a little bit of a reversal here in the short term if we cannot get back above it and invalidate that. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. Appreciate everybody hitting it, subscribing, join the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already. It's my private trading community, and you get to get the trading course, the trade signals, the trading indicators, the live trading sessions. You get so much bang for your buck in there. Let's see here. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing any chats. All right, guys. Would you sell some ETH now to secure profits? I'm a long-term ETH whale. Let me repeat. I'm not an ETH whale. I'm just a long-term ETH holder. Let me repeat that. Long-term ETH holder. Right. So I am by no means an ETH whale. I know ETH whales. I'm nowhere near an ETH whale. But I don't plan on selling just yet. I do believe that Ethereum is going to break its all-time high of 48.78. There's nothing wrong with taking profits right now, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with ever taking profits. Taking profits, if you need the money, go ahead, take it. Taking profits is always a good idea. Money is money. Win is a win, right? No matter how big or small. So overall, I don't plan on selling ETH right now. I do plan on selling ETH between 6 to 8K. That's when I plan on starting to sell some Ethereum. Appreciate all of you guys in here. And make sure you guys are joining the Crypto Citadel, my private trading community, if you haven't already. What coins did you mention on ETH top 5? It's Lido, Pendle, Maker, Aave, Uniswap. Those are the top 5 on the Ethereum network. Guys, I appreciate every single one of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. I'm going to be signing off here. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see all of you guys in the Crypto Citadel with learning how to trade and, getting ready for the big moves here in the market and getting long-term macro analysis if you guys are into that. At the end of the day, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.